Last week, I posed the question, will we at Hume be able to have summer camp? And the answer was, we'd love to. But the reality is most of the decision points are completely out of our control. Currently, the state of California still has a mandated stay-at-home order with 6 feet of social distancing and limitations on group gatherings. Although some businesses are beginning to be allowed to open with certain restrictions, our current conditions do not allow us to open as scheduled. Since my last video, the Hume Board of Directors met, and we have made the tough decision to cancel the first 3 weeks of summer camp at our Hume Lake location in the mountains of Central California. Hume's leadership has not taken that decision lightly, considering the significant ministry and financial impact canceling the first 3 weeks of camp will cause. Because we value camper safety, and to date, because the state of California has not yet lifted the COVID-19 restrictions that most affect our situation, we simply cannot run the first part of camp this summer. Therefore, the first day of summer camp at Hume Lake in the mountains of Central California is now scheduled for Sunday, June 28th. And our summer staff orientation is slated 1 week earlier to start on Sunday, June 21st. To date at Hume, New England, we have not yet made any decisions to change the start date of camp. However, based on current conditions, we are realizing that it may be difficult to start camp on time. Our Hume, New England director, John Shablowski, and our team are tracking carefully the COVID-19 developments in the state of Massachusetts. Our partners throughout the northeastern United States will hear from John and myself if we have to deviate from our scheduled plan. Our newest property, called Hume SoCal, like all of our camps, is currently closed. We are excited to host groups and plan to reopen as soon as conditions allow. Unfortunately, we will not be able to hold Hume San Diego this summer. As you may know, we rent out a college campus, and they made a decision not to host guest groups this summer. Therefore, we have invited Hume San Diego churches to join us up at Hume Lake later in the summer as spots become available. Unfortunately, Hume Kauai will not be able to meet this summer due to some scheduled construction on the facility that we rent and the complexities of COVID-19. These are unprecedented days of challenge. And these are also unprecedented days of opportunity. We pray that we'll be able to open camp at Hume Lake on June 28th and SoCal as soon as the conditions allow. We are tracking conditions in Massachusetts closely and will continue to communicate any changes in our schedule. I'd like to ask you, thousands of you, to pray that God will give us wisdom regarding camp this summer. The ministry and financial impacts of summer are huge. Children, students, and adults need the environment of camp to breathe the fresh air and to receive hope that a camp like Hume offers now more than ever before. We would also like to ask you to pray for our government and health officials as they continue to manage this crisis. We continue to track the situation closely and plan to communicate with you in early June or as the situation warrants regarding summer. At Hume, we desire to be ready should the doors of camp open this summer. We desire to be flexible, ready to pivot if new opportunities of ministry present themselves. And as believers, we remain hopeful because God is still on the throne. No matter what happens this summer, we will continue to point people to Jesus Christ and do the best we can to give God the glory. We can trust God because He is trustworthy.